we've had this extraordinary attack on Gina Rinehart, who's not a sports person at all. You and I both know her. She's dedicated millions of dollars to lift the quality of life of young people and give them the chance to realise their potential, or at least make it a possibility. But now Netball Australia players are objecting to Gina Rinehart's money. Mark, isn't it a starting point here that these people should know what they're talking about?
Well, they don't. Unfortunately, the media told them they're role models rather than sports people.
Yes.
And they've taken on this function of jumping on the political soapbox and making these political statements. But, Alan, at the end of the day, there's a clear separation of power and responsibility in our society. The parliaments make laws as to what's legal and what's illegal. And if something's not illegal in our society, it's perfectly legitimate for those corporate interests to sponsor sporting bodies and keep them going. I mean, Gina Rinehart almost single-handedly has kept Swimming Australia going
that's it.
During some dark times and provided enormous financial support for our wonderful swimming Olympians and athletes. So, that level of support should be applauded.
But what other sponsor, Mark?
Something that's illegal in society, and she's not, the money should be accepted in good faith.
What other sponsor will put its head up to cop this ignorant treatment from uninformed sports people? I mean, governments shouldn't be picking up the tab, but if they did, a stack of government money comes from the royalties from iron ore and fossil fuels.
Well, of course it does. So let's just stick to the common sense notion. If it's not illegal, these interests can sponsor sports. Sports should be grateful, whether it's Gina Rinehart, Alinta Energy, or anyone else who's running a profitable organisation in our society, grateful that they care enough to tip some money in to keep these codes going. And any money they contribute, as you point out, takes the burden off the taxpayers and government funding, takes the burden off the spectators who have to pay at the gate. So all of that should be welcomed with open arms and applauded. So I'm afraid for Pat Cummins and others, they're fouling their own nest, and quite frankly, they don't know what they're doing and they don't know what they're talking about.
No, they have no idea. One question before we go, Mark. Will the Australian cricket team stop playing India, a massive importer of Australian thermal coal, to generate electricity so that their kids can do their homework at night and not have to choke on fumes when their dinner's cooking?
Well, of course I'll play India. Then I'll go to the IPL in India, and Pat Cummins is on a multi-million-dollar contract there to play. And I'm sure he'll accept all that Indian money fueled by not only coal, ultimately in their economy, but the Indians are a lot smarter than us because they've got the uranium from Australia, and they develop it for nuclear power to keep their electricity prices down, develop their system, develop their economy, and lift so many people out of poverty.
Absolutely.
So Pat Cummins, wake up to a basic thing called economic reality.
See, I mean, we've got one sports writer today saying that the test spinner Adam Zampa, a nice young bloke, has, quote, strongly supported Pat Cummins' progressive views on climate change. I mean, there's a lot of education got to go on, and it's not just of sports people, Mark, I've got to tell you. Great to talk to you. We always get our dose of common sense. You're doing wonderful work. Talk next week, Mark.
Thanks, Alan. She's a battle.
Yeah, it is a battle. There he is, though. Isn't it good to hear from him? Mark Latham, who leads the One Nation Party in the New South Wales Parliament.